Welcome back to the FanSpeak Network and another episode of the Sibling Showdown. This is the Underdog Draft Edition. That's right, we draft battle royales every single week, a live draft every week. And last week, we had an extra fun week because we got drafted a turkey draft for Thanksgiving and we drafted a week 12 draft. And guess what? We had great results on both of them. For the turkey, we finished in 287th place, so top 300. This was what we drafted on the show. And for the battle royale, we finished in 73rd place. So to finish in top 75 and top 300 in 2 live drafts, not bad. Steve, I'm of course joined by Steve, my brother. How are you doing? I want to talk about your big win in a minute. This from Thursday and Sunday, but talk about how we basically crushed on these live drafts. So let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we had 2 good drafts, especially the Sunday one, like you said, really nailed it with the
73rd
Williams and obviously the Josh Allen call.
Because we had Josh Allen, Diggs, Devonta, I think,
and getting Devonta, and yeah, if Njoku got a little bit more at tight end, and maybe could have if DTR unfortunately didn't get injured. So yeah, really good play all around.
And certainly Diggs could have gotten a second touchdown. They were trying to score multiple touchdowns at the end that didn't get home, which is of course why the Bills ultimately lost to the Eagles, which we hate to see because as Washington fans. But yeah, I think that it was right there, and to be 73rd was awesome. Nice little finish, and then the Thanksgiving slate was nice too. We got Laporta, who was the higher
crush tight ends.
Lap the tight ends, and then we had, what was it? Did we have Dak? I think we did Dak Cooks because we got McCaffrey, and then we got instead of Lamb, but we still stacked Dak. So I like that. We got McCaffrey, and then we got Dak Cooks, brought it back with McLaurin and the Porter. So yeah, I really liked what we did last week, and hopefully we have the same right mindset to draft another winner this week. We're shooting even higher. So yeah, we're going to talk it through and then draft a live week 13 draft. But before I do, I have to give Steve some major props, some major exciting news over here at FanSpeak. Steve, short slate king over here. Thursday on Thanksgiving wins $7,000 in the $33 contest, right? No, 33. Yeah.
33. Yeah.
33, finished 4th place, won $7K. And then Sunday stays in that short slate mindset, set 1 p.m. or early only. Just absolutely dominates, wins the big $15 for $50,000. Uses what? You have to say how many lineups you did, but between a few different lineups, just absolutely dominated, swept the board on multiple different contests and won $70,000 in early only. Congrats, Steve, and tell me how you put together that early only slate.
Thank you. No, so early only, obviously avoiding the big game, the Eagles-Bills game, and also avoiding Mahomes, who I thought was going to be in line for a big game. And so, I just said with so many, not exciting quarterbacks, I decided, let's just go all in on Lawrence and Stroud. And so all my lineups were those 2 quarterbacks, and I pretty much had at least 2 of their pieces and at least 1 bring back. In all my lineups. Some of those, of course, didn't work, with the tight ends, but and my Lawrence ones did better because Dell just being a little bit more expensive meant I couldn't get like some of the Mike Evans or Michael Pittman. The one that won was with Michael Pittman,
right?
And then I got
which is great leverage off the chalky Jonathan Taylor, I have to say.
So. Yeah, and then running backs, I kind of faded Jonathan Taylor, and even though he got there, guys like Derrick Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, Bijan Robinson, all got there around the same price tag. I mean, you could go lower. Najee was cheaper and didn't get the same number of points, but was close enough given the price difference. So just gave you different outs.
Right.
And then the big winner was Pat Freiermuth, the tight end, who absolutely lapped the field at early only and took tight ends.
3% owned. 4%.
I think like 2.5% in the big 15. So
that's what was so smart is you took stabs at the Steelers guys like Najee, like Freiermuth, knowing with the new offensive coordinator, but Freiermuth was in your $50,000 winner, being so sharp, being 4% owned, and just then he laps the field and it's just Yahtzee from there.
Yeah.
So, but no, like Steve was talking about earlier, with those high scoring games with Mahomes, with the Eagles, Bills, and Allen Hurts. It's like, that's what's so nice about early only or afternoon only, and vice versa. You get to live in a world without the Eagles, Bills, and without Mahomes, and you just say, okay, I'm going to go all in this, and it allows you to do creative things, onslaught things, focus on one game more, and just build correctly around it. So we love short slate here, and I think you built obviously amazing early only lineups and had a massive day. So congratulations again. Obviously, I was sweating it out with you, but it was so fun, and I think we're going to keep rolling with that. And what we're going to do is we're going to have more short slate content. So we'll be having a short slate instead of our classic strategy survey. It'll be a short slate strategy survey up every Friday night, Saturday morning. You can see early only strategy, afternoon only strategy for the rest of the season. We're really looking for that. And then we're going to do on Thursdays, probably around 2:00, we're going to do a short slate show, maybe like an early look at the short slate for early only, afternoon only. And then you can check out the article on Saturday to see where we're really landing after we see more ownership projections and injury reports and that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for a show that's starting this Thursday, probably at 2:00. And then stay tuned for two weekly articles now for early only and afternoon only. We're leaning into this short slate stuff because we both loved it anyways. We both have had success with it in the past. This was obviously just massive success that we are so excited for Steve and ready to keep it rolling. So anyways, with that, we are going to go shift our brains back to Battle Royale, and we are going to talk week 13 Battle Royale, and we're going to try to find ways to attack this slate. Now, I'm going to bring over Underdog as we talk about it. And of course, before I get into that, if you're new, please subscribe to the FanSpeak Network, share with friends, like this episode. And if you are new to Underdog, use code FanSpeak. You get 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That allows you, of course, best ball season is always fun in the summer. We're in the middle of best ball sweats right now to make the playoffs in the next couple of weeks. But also an Underdog offers so many games and other things all year long for all different sports. So we love the games. You should check it out. We're going to jump in a Battle Royale, Steve. But talking about the Battle Royale for week 13, there's two big totals, one being Washington, Miami, no shock there. Great offense, again, a bad defense. And on the other side, Howell throws at an outrageous clip. And then you have the Philly, San Francisco matchup of the NFC Championship. So are you just attacking this slate by trying to attack those two games as much as you can? Or how do you see attacking this slate from the Battle Royale draft perspective?
Yeah, I do think this week is a little nicer because last week we had a situation where just the nature of it, after you got through the first 5 quarterbacks, you really didn't have anyone. And that's exactly what it was. There were a couple, you could have taken shots where a guy ran it in or was close enough, but boy, you were really, really reaching for that. And of course, not even come close to what Allen and Hurts did. So this week is... you have a little bit more options here, because you can get a little deeper. Like currently right now, Sam Howell is ranked 8. You have Russell Wilson in a good matchup, ranked 10. Gardner Minshew in a great matchup, ranked 11. So it just feels like there's a little bit more depth, which I like. Running back also has some depth, though we do need to watch like the Jonathan Taylor news. That could really open up Zach Moss. Definitely need to watch the Devon A-Chain news. So injury news is very crucial at this stage. Especially as we figure out some of these things. And same with like the Saints. Like if all those Saints receivers aren't going, Alvin Kamara could just get
becomes very interesting.
20 targets. I mean, that sounds hyperbole, but it might not be. I mean, he's gotten like 15 plus before. So so those types of situations we really need to keep a serious eye on. But I mean, overall, I think it's a deep enough slate at pretty much every position. And we don't even have the whole like Kelsey or bust option at tight end.
Yeah, he starts with Kittle, Laporta. So, I think those guys are fine to try to target and get, but you don't have to get them in the first round like we did with Kelsey, which is nice. So, I mean, I personally love trying to get as much of Miami, Washington, and Philly, San Francisco as possible. But I mean, like you said, there's so many also value options that might come to us too, like you said, with the New Orleans news and that kind of stuff. So how do you want to approach this? We have the first pick and we're on the clock in 2 seconds. Do we go Tyreek Hill or Christian McCaffrey? Okay.
Tyreek, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a position to break the slate against the Washington defense. We saw, I mean, listen, no, if you can get McCaffrey like at number 2, or, if you want to go McCaffrey, I don't blame you. I get it. McCaffrey is playing out of his mind, and I love McCaffrey this week too. I'm not going to be upset if I have the second spot and I get McCaffrey this week. Love McCaffrey too. So McCaffrey, Tyreek are the decision point there.
But here's the thing, like Tyreek in the toughest matchup that he has all year against the Jets secondary, in a game where Tua is honestly awful as a fantasy quarterback, he still has 9 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown.
Right.
I mean, that's like almost his floor.
Yeah.
And was still one of the top, 6 wide receivers on. I don't know where exactly he ended up, but it was up there.
Mm-hmm.
So, that kind of, and now he's going up against just, a cake matchup against the Washington secondary. So,
yeah. So with that said, we got Tyreek at number 1. Obviously, then it went Christian McCaffrey, Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Hurts went off the board in that, again, NFC conference championship rematch. Jalen Waddle, again, they're no dummies. They're trying to get that Miami offense as well. Now he may take Tua, but no, you took Ayuk getting that game. If Tua is there, do you want to go ahead and grab our stack? Because we'll have 2 in a row, obviously, at 12 and 13.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we don't have to, but yeah, I mean, quarterbacks have been very, very good against Washington this year.
Well, I'm going to queue it up just in case. Backup plan. Well, we need 2 picks. So what else do you want to do? We talked about as far as like some of the running backs, only Christian McCaffrey has gone so far. I'm sure, I mean, there are so many good high-end receivers to attack in the games we kind of mentioned. So it just went Ayuk, AJ Brown, Mike Evans, speaking of those receivers. So we're up in 2 picks and we need 2 picks. Hopefully 2 is still there for one of them. What do we do with the second one? Do we grab a Kamara here and just hope he gets all the volume? Because Kamara's probably not coming back to us.
Yeah, I would take Kamara or Kyren Williams.
Okay. All right. Well, first I'm going to go and Stroud went right before me. So it went Evans, Devonta Smith, Stroud. I'm going to take Tua to stack with Hill. And then, I mean, we might be able to get Kyren Williams later. Yeah. So I'm going to hold off on that. I don't think, given the injury situation, we'd be able to get Kamara later. And obviously, JT might be out. I like the situation for Kamara better than Eckler. So let's go ahead and grab Kamara. We could have taken like a Tank Dell or Pittman or Samuel in that game. But again, I think some of these guys could be on the way, potentially on the, at least Pittman and Debo could be available on the way back. So let's take a look at the board real quick. Love our start with Tua, Tyreek, Kamara. We'll be back up at 24 and 25. And just kind of need to see, why don't we just start queuing though, players that we like, and then we'll see kind of how it shakes out. So you said obviously if Kyren Williams was there, that doesn't bother you. Just generally speaking, Kyren Williams doesn't bother you in a tough matchup against the Browns?
No. I mean, I think his usage is just crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to queue up Bijan too. Yeah. I'm just queuing up a couple running back. Yeah. Henry. I'll queue up Monty, but I don't know if Stevenson is in.
Stevenson, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I did another draft where I did do 3 receivers, but there are so many even running backs down low. And then that's not even to mention like if Zach Moss becomes available,
Yeah. And honestly, like you can make the case for Mostert. We saw last week back in Pollard, we've seen, Gino and Kenny Walker that week. So many running backs and quarterbacks are getting there against Washington.
Oh yeah. 100%. Well, we can only get one more running back. So I assume we'll want to go again, because just to look at the board, we have a minute. After we took Tua and Kamara, it went Michael Pittman, George Kittle, Raheem Mostert, Sam Laporta is the first tight end off the board at 17, Austin Eckler all the way down at 18, Tank Dell, Debo Samuel, Kyren Williams did go at 21. And we're up at 24 and 25. So we'll be up at 24 and 25, and then we'll essentially have the last pick of the draft. I kind of want to go, especially with Laporta and Kittle being gone, I kind of want to just take a running back receiver here. One of these running backs are obviously going to be available. And then, just grab a tight end with our last pick. So, why don't we start queuing up receivers? So you've got Nico, obviously. I mean, I don't mind Terry as a run back, but is there Sutton in that game?
100% Sutton.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to dive deeper, you could go George Pickens, but I don't think we need to, obviously. Okay, so Henry, Montgomery, Ramondre. I don't know. Is this crazy? I mean, he's priced. I like Ramondre. Yeah, I was gonna say that's not nuts over Henry and Montgomery. I mean, listen, I like Henry and Montgomery too, but we're queued up for Ramondre. Do you like Ramondre the best of those three?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so then it is Nico Collins, Terry McLaurin. I don't think we had to force a running back, but I like Terry McLaurin. He has actually projected the most. Very negative game script. Would you go Nico, Terry McLaurin, Sutton, or Pickens? I would say Collins or McLaurin. Your choice.
I would go Collins.
Okay. You're not worried about the Patrick Surtain coverage or anything like that?
No. If anything, Surtain's probably in Dell.
You think? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that covered our two receivers then. Yeah, you don't have to force a bring back. With Washington, they do spread it out.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. It could be Terry, could be Dotson, could be Samuel, honestly. So if you are doing run backs, you can do any of those. I mean, you theoretically can do any of those, but you don't have to force it. So again, with our last pick, we're going to have a tight end. We can look at the board real quick to see how it's shaping up, just in case you're doing a draft, you want to see who's going where. We took Ramondre Stevenson, Nico Collins, and it went Dalton Schultz, Jonathan Taylor. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they can always do a replacement if Jonathan Taylor's out. And then Jared Goff. And then there's coming around the turn. And again, we will take a tight end with our last pick at pick 36. So Brock Purdy, that's a smart pick. And damn, Freiermuth's gone. I took him in another draft, obviously. That's who helped make your money the other day with that 4% on Freiermuth. Wish I could have grabbed him because I think they'll still utilize him. We've got McBride and Njoku. Is Dallas Goedert going to be back?
I thought it was going to be another week.
He's pushing to play week 13, but
I thought still questionable. Week 14. But...
I mean, I think you could target any of these. Njoku, Everett, Logan Thomas, if you do want the run back being there. Higbee obviously had a monster week. I don't know about against Cleveland. So I would say kind of the guys at the top are the ones I'm interested in. McBride just went. Of course, Freiermuth had gone a couple picks before. I like kind of Everett. I mean, their other skill positions are garbage outside of Keenan Allen and Eckler. We don't know the situation or would you rather have I mean, Logan Thomas is projected the most. I mean,
yeah, but that's just because he's played more than Everett,
Okay. So you'd go Everett over Logan Thomas.
Yeah, I don't mind Logan Thomas, but I just think Everett
should get more targets potentially because they're desperate.
Yeah.
They're desperate for weapons, basically. All right. So it's not, you'd have to refresh it. So we will just read this off. Again, we had the one spot. We went Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa, Alvin Kamara, Ramondre Stevenson, Nico Collins, and Gerald Everett. Again, we considered a run back both with McLaurin and Logan Thomas. You absolutely can do a run back with Washington. They do throw. He will probably drop back to pass 40 to 50 times, but he will spread it out to 8 or 9 different receivers. So, can it be Logan Thomas? Can it be McLaurin? Of course. It can also be Dotson and Samuel and Brian Robinson and Gibson. So, any of those are viable run backs. I don't fault anybody for doing that. And I will do Dolphin stacks with run backs, but you don't have to force it. And I love our lineup. I love that we made sure we prioritized 2 of the running backs that we really loved while still getting the elite stack on the week. And, obviously another game that we like in Houston, Denver, getting Nico Collins. Yeah. And then again, just kind of from a lacking talent or lacking a talent at the skill positions outside Keenan Allen, they just, someone's got to soak up those Justin Herbert targets. Why can't it be Everett? So those are my thoughts. I love this draft. What's your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, no, I'm very much in line. And, I think it's, very simple. I mean, Chargers are another team that throw a lot, whether they're up, whether they're down. They're not going to be in a situation where they're going to run the ball 40 times. That's never been Eckler's game. And right. So yeah, I mean, Everett, this past week in an ugly game where they kept turning the ball over and couldn't sustain drives, Everett had four or 5 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, hopefully he can actually stay healthy. He's had multiple injuries this year that have really hurt him for like best ball. But yeah, I mean, this is a guy who, we know when he's healthy, he can be a solid secondary weapon in this offense.
Yeah. No, I love that we got the elite stack, but still we're happy with our other pieces. So I am happy. Yeah. We need to run. I have to go on a live show at 3. But look for Steve's Underdog rankings on fanspeak.com. Look for a very new segment of the Thursday short slate show. Look for 2 short slate articles Friday night or Saturday. And again, that's all free on Fanspeak Network, fanspeak.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.